And
We
what
have to
need
give
do-
money to these other countries,
In
like
some-
Egypt. Let's take a country, for example, say Egypt, that we give a lot of 3 or 4 billion to them every year. Why do we have to give that money?
I would. Well, in the initial phase, we did it based on keeping Mubarak in power
Why do we need him in power?
because they provided a level of stability in the Middle East, because it was a control mechanism. It wasn't a good. He's a bad guy. He was a dictator.
What would
But it
happen if
provided a level there.
he wasn't
Let me
there?
ask you a question. Where do you want to go with this? Because if this is where
I'm
you're
trying
going,
to figure out what your reasoning is to support. I'm trying to understand really why it is that it's clear to you that in Medicaid and in farm subsidies, they are redistributing wealth. They're forcefully taking money from some citizens through taxes in order to provide free goods and services for others. I'm trying to understand why, in the case of when it comes to giving the money to foreigners, you don't consider redistribution
do
of
you think
wealth.
that's an apple-to-apple comparison?
I think that's probably the most egregious redistribution of wealth, because no Americans get anything.
You keep using one word, so do you think it's an apple-to-apple comparison?
I think it is. I think you are taxing one group of American citizens in order to give the money to foreigners. That's probably the most egregious of all
Then
redistributions
let's
of
have
wealth.
a conversation. What's your solution to it?
Stop all the foreign aid.
Okay. You have a country that you're helping because they provide a benefit, whether it's security, they provide a benefit of
defense.
Let me finish. Or they provide a benefit of offering some kind of stability in their region. They're a country that offers economic stability, military stability, but they're a partner that you work with and you offer them aid, but you also get a benefit in tax policy, trade policy, and you have an ongoing relationship. Do you end that relationship in foreign aid?
No, I don't end it. If I want to be friends with everyone and do business with them if they want to do business with us.
No, but do you end it? I asked you a question. Do you end it?
And what? The foreign aid?
Foreign aid to them.
Absolutely, because you cannot have friends based on giving them money. So if in order for you to be my friend, I have to give you money every week.
Not in order for you to be my friend.
I prefer not to have that friendship.
Okay, then should we end foreign aid to Israel?
Absolutely. I mean, Israel can defend itself better than
foreign aid to England.
There's no. We give foreign aid to England. My goodness, I didn't even know it. If we do, we shouldn't.
Should we end foreign aid to
Absolutely
Ireland?
not.
We should end foreign aid to Ireland.
Absolutely, none of these countries we should give any foreign aid. They are prosperous countries, England and Ireland, and we are friends based on our shared values. The same thing with Israel. And by the way, nobody can attack Israel because Israel has 150 nuclear weapons.
You don't even understand the situation if you think that's how Israel works. If you look at the Middle East and you look at the numbers alone, you've got a nation that has 8 million citizens, about the size of New Jersey, that is surrounded by a nation with 50 million. And if you look at the total of what they were
with 150 nuclear weapons.
Your nuclear weapons are not the issue here. If you have a sustainable engagement, Israel without nuclear weapons or with it, you don't want to go nuclear, you cannot sustain it. Also, if you want to be that simplistic in the process, then is there any benefit to foreign aid? What about the development, the technological development that we've had through either the Iron Dome and other technologies, military technology or medical technology with Israel? Does that have value to Americans who benefit from those and our military that benefits?
We have trade with them, and that's a good thing, and we share values with them.
That comes from foreign aid in large part.
We share values with them, and if they want to be our friends, and I think we should, I'm half Jewish myself, I'm all for it. But Israel is a big boy, and nobody messes with Israel, because if anybody messes with Israel, Israel kicks their ass.
Let me have a little.
Let
me have a little fun at Obama's expense.
That's history,
Ron
right?
Paul called and he wants his ideas back. Sorry,
what?
I'm not gonna. No, Ron Paul called and he wants his ideas back. It's this idea that the world is this black and white, easy to navigate. If I say this, it must be so everywhere else. It is a ridiculous approach to believe that it is ever that simple, or frankly, ever that much the way we want it. There is no such thing as this statement as applies to every situation. It's just not literally reality.
2 + 2 is always 4, right?
Actually, if you go by scientific math, you come up with a different answer, but that's a joke. That's a joke.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think 2 contradictory conclusions can both be true?
Yes. In world affairs, yes. Sadly, That is a reality, and that is a reality of how we deal with each other, because we don't control all sides of that equation.
Can you give me an example of two conclusions that are contradictory that you personally think are both true?
Here's where you're trying to go. You're trying to get to a conclusion.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand
All
your thinking, and it's very interesting.
And frankly, I don't want to sit here and have a back and forth that's never going to get anywhere. It's clear that you're trying to get to one conclusion, and I'm fine to have a conversation, but having one where you just want to get to one line and try to simplify everything in every interaction is a conversation that's been going on since tribes interacted with each other, and it won't end here. It's gotten more complex on the globe. So I would suggest that what you do is take an assessment of, if you want to call it a cost-benefit analysis, of saying we can cut back in these areas, we can restrict foreign aid in these areas.
I'm arguing from principle. I'm against redistribution of wealth, and you said you were also, and so we don't want to have redistributive taxes,
No,
and so
because
we
you're
want to
trying-
cut them, and
you're
so
trying-
I'm
you're
puzzled why you don't want to cut the foreign aid. You want to cut the other two.
You're trying to apply one line to all scenarios, and frankly,
I'm a man of principle. You, I assume, are too, right?
yeah, I'm also a man of reality.
So-
and principles and reality don't have to conflict or are not mutually exclusive.
But you believe in principles, right? Like you're against redistribution
we're
of
having
wealth.
you know what? This is like my show. When I have a circular argument, I just say it's over. We're going to have to agree that we're not getting into any place
Well, I was
here.
more interested in the issue about you believing the two contradictory propositions can both be true.
You're trying-
and giving me an example. We're not talking about Israel.
I would give you an example, and you've done it for the past minutes we've been talking. You would come back and you would go back to the same line. Sorry, but I've frankly been talking all day,
Okay.
and we're done here.
Well, David, it was a pleasure meeting you and talking to you in person and discussing these issues. You had a chance to interview me a little bit as well. And if you want to interview me on your show, I'm available as well. So you can think about it, and you can give us your rejoinder if you like.
All right, give me the information on your organization and your
Excellent.
outfit, and I'll take a look at it.
Thank you.